The life of a criminal is always thought to be a choice, a decision made by someone who wishes to take the easy road in life. Well, I should tell you there's nothing easy about it. The city of Soulbade is filled with the lost, the downtrodden, the forgotten. Yet songs are sung about the mighty guilds that rule the shadows there. The Silent Boot, the Blade Guilds, the Hut of Outcasts, and the Arcane Malefactorum are four houses known to reign over the underworld. Many will lie, steal, and kill just to get into one of the four guilds. And once you're in, many would kill to take your place. To rise from the ruin and the struggle. To be a guild member with a name and a reputation filled with fear and respect. However, everything comes with a price. A price often paid in blood.
Good. Good evening, everyone. Tonight is Demon Gate on Blades and Blasters. This is episode 5 of the Blood Money campaign, and thank you for joining us. I'm Rogue. I'll be your game master tonight, and we are joined by Tet, who will be introducing a new character to the campaign using the doppelganger race that he created in one of the adventures he produced under Earl of Fife. And that's going to be awesome. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to post the link right here. Boom. And we need to make that canon on the sheet. Also, tonight we are joined by Slip, who's going to be playing Gwyn, a Dark Elf Mage, and Bo is playing the Mentep Swordmaster, and Ghost is going to be playing Rattles. So let's jump into it. This session is going to take place 10 days later than the last session. So not a lot of time for Jubo to recover, but he did get some magical healing, so. We're going to start with the flashback scene first. Oh, after the intro. You don't mind Tet doing your scene first after the intro?
Nope.
Okay, cool. The 15th of Skyburn passes, and with the second week nearly arriving, the mid-month festival of High Fire is in full swing. It is the celebration of cleansing, and all over the country of Veldwar, people pray to end old habits and begin anew. They burn effigies as a symbol of doing away with the wrong. Prayers are made to the gods for enlightenment, begging for mercy or strength. Since the day of the 15th, there have been festivities in the streets. Ale flows through the taverns, and gambling thrives at the tables. Slaves are sold in the market, and flesh continues to be traded in a frenzy. And old habits die hard. Yet, each nightfall during the hour of Noctum, there has been an execution. The night air is filled with the screams of pain and pleas for forgiveness, and then finally silence. This night, there was a great cheer in the crowd as the hag's flesh turned black and fell away from the bone. Yet, then again, she had mocked the crowd, spouting curses and spitting. The second night, however, a young girl, pretty, filled with youth. They promised another witch would burn at the stake, but this one cried out for mercy, swore to the gods she was no witch. And when her cries of agony were no more, the crowd was silent as death. For some, they loved to come and witness the burning of these devilish fiends. while others go about their duties and pretend not to hear them. You have noticed the posted notes on the board in the marketplace lately, where they place jobs or notices to the public. There are more and more wanted posters of witches, those who are condemned for the practice of black magic. Even though many know nothing of necromancy at all, some simply cannot afford to be registered within the country, or some are not born of highborn blood. Or they don't have a great standing reputation with the magistrate. This is why many magical shops are limited to the black market, the infamous Black Candle Alley, where one goes to find illegal magical substances or get rid of them. The guild folk, they know of this place well. Tonight, our story begins following a few of the characters through the week during the celebration of Highfire. And for this scene, we're going to move over to the new character, Nizette. That's how you pronounce his name, right? Nizette?
Yeah.
Alright. And you can go ahead and take it away here.
Sure. There is a man in the corner. He has a hood pulled over his head. It's not unusual. He looks like most anyone else. He looks about the room, in his hand, a coin. He takes the coin and begins to place it in his fingers and slowly move it in between his fingertips over and over and over again, as it was a habit. He thinks back and listens to his own voice as he watches everyone in the room sitting amongst them, no one the wiser. He thinks of his past, thinks of the future to come, and in his mind he goes through a monologue with himself, which he often does. When I posed as the town sheriff and had my mother arrested, it was devious. When I took the form of the judge arbiter that sentenced her to life of the toil in the salt mines as a prison slave, it was genius. I have a high opinion of myself, yes? Why not? I was never a real boy, not like you. Some night my mother's real child was stolen away, and I was placed in its place. Who knows what they did with it? But now I toil where it should have been. For a few years I knew not the differences. I was a shy lad, playing with other children who largely cast me out for my peculiarities. My mother would tell me to be tougher, like my father. Psha! A father I never knew. Later I found out my mother, if you would call her that, was a whore. The babe was just a squirt of some passerby with coin. Eventually I learned, and I learned of my gift too. I took the form of a boy who had a girl, so I could look upon her naked flesh. It was the first time I knew of these powers I could wield, changing my form at will to what I willed. I can be a man, I can be a woman, young or old, comely or hideous, whatever suits my purpose at the time. Or I can walk in my own skin. Would you like to see it? Alien and strange. I do like to see when people have never seen my kind and their reactions. It is usually a long glance and then a look away. There are many peculiarities in these lands, from far and wide. My mother called me a different name, Dolphingar, but my fey name is Nezit. Who do I know of the fey? What do I know of the fey? Almost nothing. To we, the doppels and the changelings, they tell nothing. No. We are dropped in a crib and wait for a reason. Some never know. They live their whole lives in secrecy, running from this place to that, hiding their true selves. Why are we exchanged for this child? We are never told, at least not that I know. I would not know who I was or what I was unless I had a chance encounter of one of my kind. She was a true beauty and was devious and glorious. She fooled me with her form, and not I her. Her sight was clear. I smell her wherever I go, and I will find her again, and more of my kind. And we will find the peasants and the lords alike to dominate and rule. And so it shall be, those under my thumb and under my boot. I will wield the lash, and she will wield the cudgel, and our rule shall be absolute. Now I am here in this place with the stink of these people. A coin to make, a reputation to be earned, and power to be gained. It is a long road, and I shall have it on the backs of these fools and the fools that I find to aid me. It will not take so long, I hope. And with that, he takes a mug of stale ale and takes a drink, looking out among the crowd, his eyes flickering for a moment with kind of a black hue to his eyes for a moment as he watches in contempt and drifts off to himself, not saying anything for the moment. That's it.
Nice. And the next scene, we're going to pan over to Balmer's Rest. In this scene, it takes place with Gwyn. The tavern here is partially full of the sounds of laughter and music. Let's make that happen. Normally, the sounds would make one feel safe, but for some reason, Gwyn probably feels like she has to watch her back, especially ever since she's gotten word from Grass during one of their spell studies that Kira wanted to meet up here. So, what is Gwyn doing now? Is this the basement or the storeroom?
Cellar, the cellar storeroom. It's also where Gwyn spent a couple of weeks sleeping. It was her quarters. Kira had introduced her to the innkeep, and the innkeep had agreed to let her stay here in exchange for a little help around the bar, especially when things got a little rowdy. And so she's down here now, looking about the cobwebs, smelling the slight damp that sinks through the stones and the stink off of the street through the bars. Sometimes she wonders if the guild is the right place for her, but being here again and comparing it to her life there, there's no way that she can doubt that it's a step up. It's 5 steps up. Not this squalor. Still, she wonders, what does Kira want?
That's when you notice Kira appear from behind some of the barrels piled up, and she comes down and steps into the lantern light to reveal her leather mask instead of leather armor. She offers her arm to clasp. "'Tis good to see you again, Gwyn. How have things been since you joined the guild?"
Gwyn stands and Despite herself, a smile spreads across her face. Kira just has this way about her of putting her at ease. She clasps her hand. It's good. I've been meaning to meet with you and thank you personally, but I knew there was some risk. But I'm glad you reached out. Yes, I've already learned much there under the tutelage of Darius. I'm sure you're acquainted with him.
Yes, I've met him a few times. I must say I don't get into the library much. That's where he seems to spend most of his time.
Wynne looks at her brawny form and smiles and nods. Yes, you don't strike me as the bookish sort, and never have. Still, so do you think the heat has died down? No one's said anything about my disappearance from the prison. Everyone still thinks I'm dead?
She takes her mask off and puts it on the table as you're talking, and she says, "That's actually what I came to talk to you about. I must say these past few weeks have been hard. They have myself and a few other executioners working in shifts, executing people at night. At the end of the festival, kind of a grand finale, I suppose. They have us chopping up bodies as well, for some reason or another. It is quite the spectacle. I've grown quite used to the begging, though. The Red Guard posts wanted signs all over the city. Mage hunters are out in numbers. No thorough investigations or any real need to find the truth in the matter of witchcraft. But that's what I wanted to show you. And she presents something to you. Let me make sure this is... If you can see that.
Yep.
And she says, I found this. And she sighs heavily. I found it on the table in the bailiff's office of the jail near Gibbet's Quarter.
See.
There.
She looks at it with concern. Do you know the source?
I believe it is only near that area that it's been placed up. They had us taking bodies in carts to deliver there. I was only able to take this one off the table. Strange, I thought the priestess Amaranth, her plan was flawless. You pretended to be dead. She took your body out for the last rites. Perhaps some other dark elf necromancer is getting you into trouble, eh?
She looks at the picture. Does she think it could resemble Halaha?
No,
No. She's pretty sure it's her.
yeah, definitely the picture looks like you, but of course,
Yeah.
written
Now,
on it
the
very
area
properly.
she's talking about, is that near the area they had that first encounter where they killed the merchant and got the feather?
No, actually, this is kind of near the moat of the city, and it was kind of where deer originally were locked up, kind of near that area. She says, didn't another dark elf just join the Malefactorum?
Yes, she's a half, just like I am. I was at first quite suspicious. Someone got me into trouble in there, but this picture does not much resemble her. She's rounded. I'm fine-featured. Whoever drew this knew what I look like.
Yes. Anyway, I know it's not you committing these crimes.
What crimes am I accused of? Or this person?
You speak of grave robbery and illegal practices of black magic, but I'm not so sure that some of the ones that we've been executing are very guilty of these crimes. I think that Sergeant Harris is a vile and strict Atticrolian, greasy-haired fuck. I'm not fond of Imperials.
I thought before it was a case of mistaken identity, but if someone has drawn me so clearly, it can't be anything other than a setup. Someone wants me dead. Someone knows I'm alive and wants me dead. And they think this is the surest way to go about it.
And she frowns at that and nods. You may be right. Anyway, watch yourself, Gwyn.
There's no way to get these pictures off the street, are there? Do you think there's too many of them in distribution now?
Well, I'll try to pull down everyone I find in the Gibbets Quarter. That's where I saw them.
Don't get yourself into trouble on my account. You've already done so much for me. But thank you. Thank you for the warning.
She smiles and goes to put her mask back on. He says, if you need me, tell Grass, that creepy fucker.
I will, although I must say I try to avoid him when I can. Something about him. She just kind of shudders.
Man, he's a Vatagi. Always looking at you with his yellow eyes. Well, Gods be with you. And she heads out.
Gwyn waits a while.
Now
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say she waits a while, giving Kira a chance to leave so that they're not associated with each other before pulling her cloak over her head and carefully tucking her hair back deep within its folds and heading back to the guild house.
All right, in the next scene, we are going to pan to Rattles. This scene is going to take place in Valkyrie Square, where Rattles lives. Here it pans down to the square. It's just off Copper Alley. Valkyrium, named after the magical red steel. It's prominent in the southern lands of the Stone Dwarves and Valhagen. So we come across a 4-story shanty. I believe that's what the place was. Rattles, yes. You can describe what would be going on during the normal day in the residence of the Rattles and the slave girl Maya.
Yeah, so typical day. We'll say today is a day that we're not open for business. It's the prep day. So Rattles is sitting at a rickety table of his own make, carpentry. Wood a bit rotted, but not so much that it can't hold weight. He sits in a chair, similar construct. He is going through his ledgers of the past week's business, accounting for the bits when he'll need to buy new raw materials, things like that. He enjoys some stale bread and some soup made by Mia, who he has assigned to cooking. And generally it is quiet, though there are the occasional sounds of strife and scuffle outside. He pauses to be certain it is nothing of his concern, and then goes back to his meal.
You've noticed of late that Maya has kind of dropped her initial shy and timid demeanor over the past 6 or 7 weeks that you've gotten to know her. and she's been working for you for all this time. She tends to the chores about the place, and you're training her, right, to sell the pottery too?
I believe she was a glass blower, and I was working on acquiring materials for her to do that, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So she's been doing that and trying to make money on the sides and stuff. And she seems to like be a little bit more open, of course, now with you, a little more diplomatic. You can tell she's like really inquisitive. She talks a lot now. You feel like she's pretty clever, like she knows how to work people pretty well, and uh, a chameleon type. She acts different around different people uh, to kind of gauge them and fit in more. And does she know that you're in the guild?
No, I would have never revealed that. I'm
Okay.
sure. I mean, she could have assumed that I belonged to some kind of group because I do disappear from time to time, but never would have explicitly told her that.
So she comes in and she's like, I picked up some paint, and Master Hummel said there was a shortage of the color red again. Probably because the color is all over the place. Red and black. Dreadful and gloomy mix.
It is no great surprise. It is often in these times there is a shortage of something. With the city's colors being as they are, it is no shock. I have not happened upon red paint for some time.
I've been thinking. And she's like pulling out some items out of a basket. I do not want to call you Rattles anymore. I don't like it. And you don't want me to call you Master. What if I called you Ratty? No, that's like some unclean animal.
I have warned you that thinking can be dangerous, and you will call me Rattles. My own name is not something to be uttered again.
As you wish. Well, in Espadosa, in my country, there is, what about Maestro? It's a little like teacher. And you're not so sure how how like honest he's being right there.
Yeah,
I don't know if you speak.
he thinks on it. And he shrugs and shifts in his chair.
If it pleases you, then Maestro will be fine.
I just don't like the way that people look at you sometimes. You are nice, and many of them are foolish and greedy.
I am not nice. And people look at me as many would look at a corpse that appears to walk.
She smiles and she shrugs. I will make them pay extra for the pottery and the glass. Fine pottery, ceramic fueta. No, she looks at you and she smiles, and a big grin on her pale features. Her hair's black and pulled back in a bun. I noticed the Red Guard crawling around the neighborhood, knocking on the doors, dragging people out in the streets. Should we be worried about something?
I would be interested to see them drag me onto the street.
And then about like on cue, you hear a big knocking on the door. Do, do, do. Open up by order of the constable.
He gets up and he looks to me and
Arm yourself, but keep the blade hidden. A kitchen knife, just in case they try to get fresh.
She looks like very scared, but she goes and grabs the blade really quick. Hides it in her.
Stay out of sight.
She nods and kind of disappears in the little hole there. Um, you go ahead and open up the door.
Yeah.
You notice this man here, heavily armored. There's 3 more behind him. All they don't have weapons out or anything. They're just standing there. One kind of spits on the ground, looks around like they're bored, really, and he says, "We are searching the houses in this area for witches. What say you? Any knowledge? There might be any witches in the neighborhood?"
I am afraid I am not but a potter. With my slave who blows glass, I am not familiar with any sorcerers or wielders of the arcane here.
And one of them is kind of like trying to look past you into the house. The other one says, "I've seen him in the market before." And go ahead and make a charisma check, actually.
I may have. No, I
Unless you
actually don't have anything. I don't have any anything. So it's just actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say, just pretty much don't totally botch it. And he says, "All right then." He says, "Good day to you then."
And to you, happy hunting.
And he'll close the door.
And after they leave, she comes out and kind of sighs and looks totally, totally relieved. And then shortly after, as she starts to kind of put stuff on the table again, there's another knock on the door.
Oh, piss on this day.
And he hits his head on, not that hand, hits his hand on the table. And it's not the same knock, right? Not heavy.
No, it's definitely lighter.
Yeah, he'll kind of stomp over to the door and yank it open.
What?
And you notice that there's no one there. What kind of items do you have in your garden? What kind of like food do you think?
What the hell would even grow here? I would think hardier vegetables, things that can survive varying climates, because I get the sense Soulbait has decent summers but pretty miserable winters. So yeah, we'll say turnips,
Cool.
turnips, carrots.
Cool. Yeah, we'll say. Potatoes, perfect. We'll say, or carrot's perfect. There's the coin on the ground, and then there's like a half-eaten carrot next to it. And I think your garden is on the roof, right?
Yes.
But yeah, there's nobody around. And she's like, "Who is it?" And when you see the coin, it's the pentagram coin, the one of the guild.
And he picks up the carrot and the coin, looks at it, tosses her the carrot.
Wash that. We can still use it. I have
He pockets the coin.
business I must attend to.
And she takes it and just looks kind of strangely at you, but doesn't even bother asking.
Remember to board up the doorway if I do not come back by nightfall, and sleep with a dagger at your side.
And she looks a little bit worried, but she nods. And, okay. Good luck, Maestro.
Be safe, Mia.
And he will turn and head out the door, assuming the coin is a symbol for guild business.
And yeah, when you head out, that's when you notice a shadow in your garden, kind of in the shadow, in the darkness of the shadows of your garden area on the roof. A little smile appears, and you recognize Kojo, the dark elf, standing in there. And he says, "Salute, Rattles. Those guards giving you a hard time?"
They often do, given my interesting appearance. What is it that you require, Kodo?
I need, well, the guild needs your assistance. Looks around a bit, still probably looking for the guards. He was like, "I was hoping I wouldn't have to intercede through the window. But I would have, of course, to help a fellow guild member out." He offers like a half bow. "Does your woman know about the guild?"
No, and for now, I prefer to keep it that way.
I see. If I have to deliver a message next time, then I will take the same precautions. The Malefactorum needs your strength. Your assistance is required at dusk on the 24th of Skyburn, which is like a couple days. And he says, "Meet your associates at the Candlelight Inn in Tin Alley. A job must be taken care of, and a new member to the family. An interesting fellow. You might like him."
Very well. Is there anything else I should be aware of?
No, not at all. I'm sure the others will have more details on the job. The specifics,
I see. Next time, eat the whole carrot. I do not prefer to have leftovers of that nature.
Yes, my apologies. And he holds his hand out for, like, his coin back, you're assuming.
Yeah, and Rattles will toss it to him.
Catches it with a smile. "May the shadows hide your path, my friend."
And may darkness shroud you.
And for that, move over to the next scene. Oh, not this one. Let's see here. There we go. In this scene, Jubo, can you make a body check? We're gonna see like how he's been recovering over the week that's passed. Target number is just a 4, but if he was magically healed by OTEP.
No dice.
Oh no.
So his healing hasn't gone too well. All that's going to happen is his physical status is he's going to take a physical fatigue point. Let me check his character real quick.
I can put it on there.
Yeah, go ahead and just up
Tired.
up it one more. Yeah,
There
there
you
you go. And as those go up, they start to affect your physical rolls and stuff, and the other one your mentals. But nothing real big yet. He's just a little off. So in this scene, in the scene, you guys are in the Malefactorum headquarters. That Vitagi warrior had caught you with the battle axe, striking your leg, nearly taking the leg off and his life, but he was able to pull through, of course. And did Jubo gain any spiritualism from the event at all? I remember you talking about it.
Mechanically, I don't know if we did anything with that, but yeah, he did pledge to follow whoever it was that helped him out.
Okay. Do you think you would want to follow his god or go more towards the Mentep religion? It's totally up to you.
Yeah, I think I said that I was on death's door, that his god had something special.
Okay.
Mancy.
All right. So I would say you think it's safe to say he's probably been in the church for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's give him a D4. Go ahead and roll a D4, and we'll add it to his spiritual influence. Whatever you roll.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
I'm at
So
3.
he's- Only 1 point.
Good rolls so far.
He's gone to the church a couple times. Once maybe.
It's about like
He looked in from outside.
It's too much work for Jubo.
Yeah.
Sitting there all day while they gossip on and on about nothing at all.
So the scene pans down to Valeas and Juba Lemongrass in the Arcane Malefactorum's Great Hall. This is where the Summoning Circle resides, and it's going to be the 24th, the day of Skyburn, and it's in the afternoon, midday, a time called Merides. It's kind of like equivalent to 1 or 3 p.m., between those hours. And there's these big gears and levers near this huge summoning circle. It's elegantly carved into the stonework. And many times you've looked upon this chamber, and you've trained in here with Valeas now over the past 7 weeks or so. There's others in the shadows, just a few others watching in the background. Most of them are Valeas wannabes, or they train with him and stuff. And he's oiling his blade, and then he tosses the rag to Jubo. He's like, I heard you did away with some foul orc in Blade-Gated territory.
I did away with several orcs, Valeas. But alas, I am not so quick as I once was. I was, dare I say, more than a tad too slow. And he looks down at his leg, which is still splinted. He has dirty rags kind of tied about his inner thigh that hold a few splints there for stability in his knee. I only hope that it's not slowing me down too much, Velius. Without my reflexes, I will not only be a old Mentep, but a dead Mentep.
And Valeas smiles. He's got like really angular features, very pale face. The shadow elf usually have really pale faces and dark hair. And he says, I hope you washed away the taint from your rapier after that.
I did. And I came up with this new thing. It's a pretty. And he has this new cutlass. And he kind of flourishes it with his right hand and brings it up to guard. You can tell it's been engraved with a few runes from his homeland of Mianwu. And then he kind of puts it back in the scabbard. I suppose, Velius, that I will have to count on treachery, stealth, surprise, more than I would like to. Jubo Lemongrass never backed down from a fight, but now I'd rather strike from the darkness.
You steal one day. The cutlass is all right. But give you a taste of the true Shadowlan Eldrin craftsmanship. If you live long enough, that is. And at that time, you notice, Gwen, you're entering into the chamber, probably from some studies with grass or the others.
We heard about
And
Jubo's injury, right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So she spots him and kind of hurries over. Jubo, I've been meaning to check in on you. I heard that you took a terrible injury, but you seem to be getting around all right.
I'm getting around all right. It's a bit painful, but you'll never hear a Jubo complain. That is about anything except bad food and hard work.
How did it happen?
Well, I seem to have got on the wrong side of a battle axe, Gwen. And a battle axe, it doesn't, well, you can see its handiwork here. Kind of turns his inner thigh towards her, and she can see the rent across his leg and the scar tissue in the splint there.
She looks at it and says it's already scarred over, and I'm surprised you didn't bleed out from a human or someone like me. That would be right over an artery.
I dare say it was over an artery. But, well, I think you can also say that the gods of this world, they looked kindly upon me that day. I've never given much thought to them, but, well,
Wouldn't
even
say
an old Mentep can change his ways.
compared to most people here, Jubo, you are a saint, and I dare say you deserve the miracle more than most. Speaking of people around here, I've gotten word that a rather recognizable drawing of me is going around in certain quarters of the district, identifying me as a Red Witch. And as far as I know, everyone from the prison thought I was dead, and I've been pondering it. Either I've got an enemy that I'm not aware of out there, and she points outside the building, or someone here has a grudge. If you hear anything or notice anything, would you let me know?
Certainly I would, Gwen. Those many years locked up behind those walls. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Don't believe I'd be
Jubo.
taken back to prison.
Jibo, go ahead and try to defend against the saber attack.
Attacks while we're talking.
Yeah.
It's the best time.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's do parry deflect as he hears Valeus strike from behind him, and he takes his cutlass and kind of puts it behind his back to try to deflect the blade. Oh, great.
So he of course comes in with a saber and just slaps you twice, 3 times with it. Totally like you're in the middle of a conversation, like totally dick move, but he's just all of a sudden there, and he's like, letting your guard down, talking to the pretty girl, I see. And he starts like pacing around you.
Jubo is a bit too late, and Valeus! She's not my kind, not my type. You striketh me when I have my back turned. But I should know better. The fault is mine. I should never turn my back on a cunt like you. On guard!
And
He says it at least with like kind of a joking tone.
yeah, and they kind of like go into a dance back and forth. Start pretty brilliant swordplay, I would say. And he says, "Your clothing stinks. You should have washed it, wretched filth." He says, "What say you? What race do you utterly despise?"
Uh, what race do I utterly despise? I've never been
And he,
fond of
go
orcs,
ahead.
so
He says, "Yes, yes. Gwyn, what of you? Is there a race you cannot stand?"
With a group of entertainers, people from everywhere, I have to say I hate on more of an individual basis.
Everyone has the deep hatred for another bloodline. It's natural. It's just that everyone else can't admit it. Try to be cordial. Someone should build a wall or something and keep those damn orcs out.
So I simply haven't discovered my true hatred yet. I look forward to it. She'll try to, like, kind of keep his eyes on her, giving Jubo an opening.
And go ahead and do a dancing skill check, Jubo, and you can add a +1 mod.
What kind of dance was that?
dance a cripple would do. Yeah, I don't know. He tries to take advantage of the window of opportunity that was afforded him by Gwyn, but unfortunately his knee just gives out. And, blast it! Blast this infernal healing! Where's an old wise woman of men woo when you need one?
Too bad that mutant bastard got that hit on you with the axe, Jubo. I was looking forward to a challenge. Well, at least you can use it as an excuse while I inevitably defeat you.
I will not use it as an excuse. It would not be said that Jubo Lemongrass ever gave an excuse.
And after the fight, he offers a bow, with the blade, and he says, "Anyone who can wipe more orcs out, fine by me."
I thank you, Velius. There will come a day when I best you. My body refuses to move quickly these days, but my mind grows more agile with every near-death experience that I have under my belt.
You notice grass kind of comes out of the shadows there, and he nods to Gwyn and to Jubo, and kind of a strange look offers to Valius. And he says, "Good day to you." And kind of a sideways, weird, nonchalant glance towards Valius that you both notice for sure. And he says, "Good morning, Gwyn. Jubo, apologies for the interruption."
No apologies are necessary. Valius was just done dissecting my sword style. I've quite had enough for today. The years are many and my knees are creaking. They ache. I'm in need of ale and meat, Grast. Do you know where I can find some of that?
Indeed. Actually, You shouldn't be practicing right now with your legs so wounded still.
You think that in a battle you will not take wounds? No. In a battle you will bleed. You will be tired. You will be in pain. Blood will be in your eyes. And so that is how you must practice, Grass.
Well, there is no rest for us, I suppose. There is a new member awaiting his trial. Tonight, we need you to meet up with him. His name is Nizet. Our intel says he is an assassin, a pale-faced mutant. He will be awaiting your arrival at dusk in a place called the Candlelight Inn. It is down on Tin Alley. We have Rattles. He'll meet you up as well for extra support. But once you get acquainted, we would like for you to spend some time at the Candlelight Inn. A man will show up there after some time and meet with a few allies. His name is Vashi, a pirate, a first mate. His face heavily scarred, a tattoo on the shaved side of his head. Our ship is just now arriving in the port. They call it the Sunken Gale. It is said to be carrying some interesting cargo. It should be delivering near there. In some storage area, but where exactly we do not know. That is what we need from you to find out. We would like to know what is in the cargo and why they are being so secretive about it. Can you do this for us?
I have nowhere else to be, Grass.
Gwyn
And-
looks a little concerned, looking at Jubo's leg. Well,
Why? Why the frown, Gwen?
oh, it's just I have been stuck here for so long. I was hoping for some diversion tonight myself. Would I, I'm here, as you've been informing Jubo, perhaps I can be included as well.
And he looks at Jubo's leg and then over to Gwen, and he says, "Indeed, perhaps our studies should continue tomorrow. Then, yes, maybe you should back up Jubo. Then the job is to find out what and where is in that cargo that they are offloading. Those pirates are being paid by someone. And if it is who we think it is, there could be trouble ahead."
Find out what's in it and where it's being taken. Is that the mission then?
Yes, where is it being stored? And what is inside? There is a war going on. The deserts of Azundanal have joined forces with Narcadia and the Vitaki. Their Stygian army is coming this way, and all who do not kneel and convert to their devil worshipy will be slaughtered. There is a group, and he starts to get like a little closer as he's talking about that, and you notice that Valeas is watching intently and listening intently. He says a group called the Obsidian Scythe. Some of their secret operatives they use to infiltrate cities. The King of Veldwar has already spoken out against joining forces with the Black Banners. And Valeas says, "And do not forget about their prime assassin, Vazamu. A morphine lizard man, black scales, green eyes." And he looks over to Jubo and kind of flashes his eyes at him. "A deadly viper. He's legendary, and there are rumors that he's been skulking around in the streets in that area. So keep your eyes and ears open."
So just information. We aren't to do anything about this. cargo.
Grass, he thinks for a moment and he says, the cargo. Find out where and what. That is all. But this is our territory, and no one does business on our territory without paying us a fee. So, have our new assassin friend dispatch Vashi for us, and that will be his test.
Of course, but not too soon. Not until we've gotten what we need out of him.
Indeed, you will probably have to follow him to the location.
In nods. Very well. Rattles will be good backup for this as well. Problem.
Grass smiles, creepy little grin, and he says, have our assassin show you his coin. He should have been given one.
Well, I suppose the more the merrier for this task. Gwyn, thank you for coming along. My pride is great, and I am not too quick to admit that this might be slowing me down a notch. But then again, it could also deceive our foes.
True. I think that you are sometimes underestimated. And to tell the truth, I would hate to see the only person here that I actually trust come to harm. I shall meet you in a while. There's some preparations I need to make.
Likewise, Gwyn.
She'll set up a time and a place to meet him so that they can go over to the inn.
Yep.
I think she wants to go to the summoning chamber and summon... I think this time she'll try to summon an imp to accompany her because it seems more like intrigue-oriented. Something that'll be stealthy.
Okay. Do you want Grass's help to summon, or?
Oh, she'll take whatever help she can get. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll definitely help you.
Would Jubo be able to go grab just a few simple things? Cloak, maybe some rope and a grappling hook. An old cane. Yeah. I want an old cane as well so I can look old and decrepit.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Valeus has some stuff too. Yeah, you could go into his armory and pick up some items. Okay, cool. And let's do the conjuring real quick then.
I just did.
Oh,
I fumbled,
nice.
but I fumbled it. So I'm gonna use my my ability to. Does that count for this? Where you can the dark elf magic thing where you can.
Oh yeah.
Empty? Yeah, I'll use that.
And he's there too to help you.
Okay. I think. I don't. What's my target number to just get that basic level?
Let me pull that up real quick. Wow, his is the same roll.
Both suck. I mean, I'll roll again. I'll spend the friends.
Oh, it's the lowest one. Yeah, it's a 5. The target number is a 5. You're good.
So we're good. Okay.
And then the drain is 5, 6. I seem to remember it being like 40, but you guys use crystals, right?
And it's not 40. It's like 1d6 times the level of the creature, and something like 5 times the level of the creature summoned, or something.
Oh, okay. 7 times 5. That's what it is. 5. 1 for the power. 5 for the level of the creature, and 1 because it's a lesser one that we established already, so I don't have to roll the d6.
Nope.
So 5, 6, 7. 7 times 5 would be 35. But last time they had the items there, the crystals that they'll use to set up around that awesome, super powerful summoning circle, and it eats up some of the drain, and he shares some with you. So so you're good. What does that look like when your imp comes out here?
Yeah, she's been trying to figure out what these imps like, and she's discovered that they like secrets. So she keeps her ears open, and she leaves as she's preparing the circle, she writes something down with fine ink on a piece of parchment in, is Vitagi the demon tongue? I don't even know what tongue an imp would speak because they're shadow creatures. But she'll write it down in some fine ink, just this secret that she knows or has learned about someone here at the guild. And it doesn't have to be anything big. They just seem to delight in knowing something embarrassing or uh, just something someone doesn't want known. And she folds it up in the middle as she conjures this creature. And it's a little slow to respond this time. Usually they're pretty eager, but who knows what this imp was doing before, and it does show up. Opens the offering with this greed. It licks its lips almost as if she offered it a tasty morsel, and it reads it, and as it does, the paper starts to smolder and just kind of turns to ash in its hands as its eyes start to glow a bit. Do you want to roll randomly to see which imp showed up? Because they're good at different things.
That sounds good. You want to roll a d6? 1, 2, 3 Daz. 4, 5, 6 is X.
Says X, so it's a little female imp. And she says, we want to be discreet tonight, so you might ride my shoulder, but stay unseen.
And the smoke kind of dissipates around her, and she giggles and kind of shakes and twitches for a second, flaps her wings, and lands over on your shoulder. Did you make? Oh, I have to do that.
Or I do it as a GM roll, but it's easier that way, I think. I don't like that sound, Rogue. Well,
This is the binding ritual.
yeah, she has no idea whether it's successful or a fail. It just depends on how the imp responds.
All right. And what do you ask her to do? Stay discreet and fly up onto your shoulder?
Stay on. I don't know if they can be ethereal or not, but stay unseen. Stick to the shadows if she can't.
Oh yeah, she's definitely good at that. Yeah, so she turns her head sideways, like little gremlin face, and laughs, a little high pitched squeal. The look on her face makes you feel a little bit worried, like she's getting away with something. But then she like snaps her fingers, and you see she turns into smoke and spins around the circle, waiting for you to open it with the like an athame or a ritual blade, so that she can fly out of the magic circle.
She does that with a little bit of misgiving, but she always has a little bit of that feeling with these creatures.
And with that, there's like a puff of smoke, and you can't see her, but every once in a while, you know she's there. You can like hear a little, her feet drop onto a perch here and there as you're walking, or a flap of the wings. But she's totally invisible to most. And if that's all, we're gonna go to the next scene here. I might give a sight here for Ted's. Just for a second. You guys will link up here in a second, but there we go. And for some reason, my music disappeared.
I hear it.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
can hear
hear
it. If you just refresh, it'll be okay. Such as the woes of Roll20 Jukebox.
Yeah. Have most of you gone totally away from it?
No, I still use
I
it.
still use it now because I think the bots are even worse. Bo's right. Usually you can just refresh it and it starts working.
Okay. Here we go. So, for this scene, we find Rattles and Gwen and Jubo end up, meeting up. Actually, Jubo and Gwen end up meeting Rattles kind of outside of the tavern before they get there. So, it's you three actually walking up, and you can see the posted the sign out there, the old weathered sign, kind of swinging and creaking. You guys are in the Wharves district, the Eastern Wharves. So this is your territory, Malefactorum Guild's territory, and it's down the Tin Alley. And you guys come upon this Candlelight Inn, which is roaring inside. Lots of laughter and music and stuff. So you guys can go ahead and take it away.
Jubo can smell the smells down the alleyway far before he sees the warm light, the flickering from the windows, and the raucous laughter. Ah, now that's what I'm talking about. Something delicious, something succulent. Perhaps we can mix business with pleasure tonight, Gwen? Rattles? No? This place, I hear they have a nice charcuterie board.
Is that a Mentep phrase?
Of course. They don't call me Jubo Lemongrass for nothing. Many years ago, when I was a boy, I helped my father and my mother with their restaurant, and we did not put up with second-rate fare. We did not put up with vegetable matter either, for that way.
Well, then we shall see how this place measures up to what you're used to. Where are we supposed to meet this new recruit? I'm a bit fuzzy on that part. Here, correct?
Yes, he is supposed to be within the tavern. Although, there were not many details disclosed to me either.
Seems to be quite crowded. I just wonder how we'll recognize him.
He is supposed to have a coin. Though, again, they did not give me a description of his likeness.
Wynn sort of turns to her shoulder and she whispers, "Find someone who has the coin that of the Malefactorum. You know what that looks like." And then she turns to the others and says, "Let's enter."
Yes, and a quick meal would not impede our progress over much. We should grab a table until we meet this newcomer.
I agree. Grab a table, have a drink. enjoy ourselves and fit in here. As Jubo rounds the corner, he sees that this place looks much, much worse than it smells. Oh, I dare say that I've been let down. I was expecting a more on the presentation side.
Not in the Wharf District. Not a chance on your life.
The good
Yeah.
news is I doubt they have any vegetables here whatsoever.
Ah. Then I suppose I am saved, Gwynfane.
She tries to smile and not look nervous, but she keeps tucking her hair back under her cloak.
There's a
Jubo,
table. And he'll point down here.
Jubo follows behind Rattles. Has his cloak pulled up over him and kind of taps a cane along as he walks. He kind of scans the crowd looking for anybody that doesn't quite fit in.
You notice the Candlelight Inn is filled with all manner of characters. It's, very packed. Several different races, several different mixes of them. Eldrin, Org, some half-orc, half-elves, a dwarf, several humans. It's mostly humans, and even some Vatagi. Probably the most alarming of the races. There's these two Skog warriors in the back, laughing and drinking by themselves in the corner, and they're kind of sitting behind a few bards who are happily playing music together. There's some gambling, dancing girls on the tables. There's some whores near the bar and the stairs. Prostitutes, I think, is the right word. And
That's the leftist term.
Coors.
and
Wars.
the place is lit by lots of candles and torches, and hence the name. You notice the bartender, curly-haired, kind of plump fellow, human, sideburns. Looks like he could come from the north, and he seems happy though. And there's some servants behind him. Looks like another Northman, younger, probably his son. Muscled, bound guy, and go ahead and do your perceptions as well. And is that you've been in here, for some time now. You've been staying in here for a while, and you notice pretty much every new face because you've been studying them, I would say. Yeah, you can do observation. So you do notice those three newcomers, and they kind of match the description you were given.
Yeah.
Listening for the names, anything that sounds like Vashi or Sunken Gale. We're sitting down, just in conversations.
And when you whispered to look for that coin to a specific person, you did see like a little flash of eyes and hear the flap of wings. But so you're still waiting on a response for that for a little bit as you get up to the bar. You do notice at the bar that there are three pirate-looking fellows, some salty dogs up there. But as far as you can tell, these three look like the only pirate types or sailor types in this whole place. Most of them look
These guys?
pretty common. Yeah.
Okay.
One is a Vatagi, and the other two look like they're humans at their bar, getting drunk and rowdy. And you notice the muscle-bound human comes over. What can I get for you?
Yeah, Rattles looks to Jubo.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Maybe some fish stew.
Fish. Ah, yes. I get you some fish?
And some ale.
You wanna? Of course, ale. Anything else? Some porridge? Perhaps.
When he says porridge, you guys catch the glimpse of someone walking towards you in a feminine voice. Call it, I would not go with the porridge. And since I've been here, I'm assuming I know this guy's name.
Yeah, Gib. They've been calling him.
Gib always tries to pawn off the porridge, pawn off the porridge. Several days old at this point, I would assume. And when you look, there's a woman with jet black hair and dark lipstick. She's wearing a leather shirt, kind of a vest, tight around the waist, wearing pants tucked into leather boots.
Hmm? Who is this? Yes. Porridge, I've had bad experiences with it before. Quite the home for mealworms. That's why I always eat meat. Meat only, the saltier the better. Nothing can grow in salted meat.
Yes, I thank you for the advice, miss.
You may call me Nizia.
Nicaea, yes. Anything interesting going on here tonight? Any news around the docks?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I've been happily sitting here drinking my wine, keeping to myself for the most part. You three are the most interesting thing I've seen all night, for sure. She looks kind of past Jubo at Rattles.
Yeah, Rattles will look at the newcomer and look to Gib.
An ale, and then a fine meat platter for my cat friend here. And you, woman, what do you desire?
Oh, I am quite full. I've already ate my fill. But thank you for the offer.
Then he looks to Gib.
Go, you have our order. Run along.
He says, I do, sir. I'll be right back.
And he'll look back to Nicaea.
Would you like to sit with us? I have a feeling, upon your interruption, that we may have mutual business.
Yes, perhaps. You three are very easily described. I will take a seat if you don't mind. She kind of saunters up next to this. Vitagi just shortly looks over her shoulder and scooches in next to Jubo.
Jubo is about to scoot the stool out in your direction, but she sees you get a little bit closer. And then he looks over at the Vitagi. What are they doing? Are they just kind of getting rowdy and drinking? He said.
Yeah, so far you haven't heard them mention anything about any shipment or anything, but yeah, just talking about women over at the end of the bar down here. You notice that they are talking about that. The Vitagi doesn't seem interested, but the other two humans are talking about the whores over there.
Yeah, I was kind of keep my eyes open as Isaiah slips in. I think Slip was saying something.
Yes, we are expecting to meet someone, but you certainly aren't the person that was described.
Oh, who was
Perhaps.
described?
Someone without... Well, she kind of gazes at her chest. Without some of the attributes that you possess.
Oh, tits, you mean?
Well, I have seen men with tits before, but you don't resemble them either.
She gives a bit of a smile. Yes, the slovenly types, you mean?
Indeed. Do you have anything to show us?
Oh, you must mean this. And she was palming something, and she does the thing with the coin across her knuckles. And then afterwards just lets it sit in her palm for a brief second and then closes it and palms it again.
Gwyn looks surprised and looks at the others. I suppose, perhaps there was some sort of change in plan and they sent someone different to meet us.
It matters little. There is no doubt now.
She nods.
Unless I stole the coin, of course.
If you stole it, then the one it was given to did not deserve it.
It is the way it works, generally.
But I have your descriptions, so that's not possible, is it?
Unless you tortured it out of the person, but again, that will only play to your favor.
Well, I suppose we should talk business then.
Yes. Gwyn looks over at the Vitagi. It's not very private here. Have you,
A room, I do.
Yes, perhaps we should take our meals there.
That would be wise.
I agree. There are too many ears listening and too many eyes looking us up and down like they would like to cut our purses. Let us go to your room.
Yes, when you gather your food, come up. And she gives them basically which room it is. I will be waiting.
And yeah, he comes back. He brings the coin. You still don't see any scar-faced pirate in there yet, but you head on up. It's on the second floor. You end up finding this room. One flight of stairs, and you're there. And everybody got sight?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Is that chair on fire?
Sit there!
That's what they call the hot seat.
It's a fireplace. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. They do look weird.
You're in the hot seat, son.
It's like a
Oh,
pot of
shit.
burning coals or
Right
something.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Chuba would be sitting in one of the chairs.
Yeah.
At this point, they've dug into the charcuterie board.
Yeah, but as you come in, the thing is, like, you come in after her, I'm assuming. That was the kind of like what I was going for.
Yeah.
As you come in, there's someone sitting at the head of that table that doesn't look like the person you had talked to. Instead, they have a very pale face with these red streaks that kind of move down from their forehead to their chin. It's male seeming. It's wearing kind of similar clothes, only in a male fashion, to that woman, with a hood drawn over his head. He just kind of is lounging back into a chair as you all walk in.
We'll walk in and look startled. Oh, are you an illusionist then?
Oh, no, I am not illusionist. I am sorry for the deception, but my appearance in this place has been such.
Afraid I don't understand then.
Yes, well, he shrugs. It is something I can do. Change my form.
Perhaps a mutation or a simple
I am a fae, if you need to know the specifics. Some call them changelings or doppelgangers.
So I can see why the guild would want you.
Yes, it is useful for my craft.
Well, let us see what other skills you have then.
Has a seat at the table.
How much information did they give you about our task this evening?
Not much, actually. Simply that I was supposed to aid you in some task. I don't believe they were overly talkative. You were supposed to
They
fill
tend
me
not to.
in.
We are to find a pirate by the name of Vashi, who has a shipment coming in on the Sunken Gale to be unloaded. We need to find out where and what it is that he's brought in. It's supposed to be interesting. So tonight, subtlety, I think, is called for.
And for conducting business without the guild's involvement, our handler suggested that the pirate also meet his end, preferably at your hands, though we will be in support.
It is not often that the guild ventures out like this, is it? We must send a message. We are on guild territory. And so not only must the mission be a success, but it must be a success with flair.
Indeed. I have someone keeping an eye on the room downstairs. They're supposed to be here at the inn tonight, or are we supposed to go down to the dock? So now I'm misremembering.
Yeah, Vashi's supposed to show up here.
Okay, yeah. So that we don't miss something in our absence, but I must admit, my little spy isn't always reliable. So someone with your skills might be a bit more dependable.
Yes, I simply do not know about this flare. One kills in the shadows. Otherwise, it is a battle, and not an assassination, is it?
I think it's more about making sure that the body is found, displayed.
A hit on a pike is a hit on a pike.
As long as a statement is made, it will suffice for the guild.
Well,
Once Rashi is found dead, they will know who did it.
it seems easy enough. What do you know about this Vashi? It is good to know about your prey.
Thing really. Pirate, Sunken Gale is the ship.
Well,
It will be up to you to gain more knowledge, is it? Your particular set of skills is undoubtedly of high utility in this situation.
There are some sailors down there who, while might not be from the Sunken Gale, might know something about it. But they're Vitagi, and from the looks of it, they are either interested in talking to women or the Vitagi.
well, you are a woman, and I can be a woman.
Gwyn grimaces. Oh, I do hate that sort of work. But yes, I won't send you in alone, I suppose.
The Vatagi might like him, and Nisit looks over to Rattles, kind of. The strange and the strange.
True.
What are you, anyway? You are as fascinating to me as I might be to you.
I was once flesh and bone, just as any other man. Now, simply bone, with a hint of flesh.
Well, that is curious. I have not seen one like you in my years.
As I understand it, bone wardens are rare. Not so much that the mutation is uncommon, but it is uncommon they live very long, once the godly sorts find out where you dwell. Hard to tell the difference between me and a dead thing, I think.
Do dead things talk? I've never heard one talk, but I suppose they would strike first and have a conversation never.
That is how it is in my experience. But we should focus on this evening.
Yes, well, my plan would be simple. Seduce him, take him to the room, and murder him.
And the shipment we must uncover. Is that to come after his death, then?
We need to find out about it, where it's been unloaded before we do away with him.
If he is like most pirates I know, then his tongue might be loosened by the sight of a beautiful woman and several flagons of ale. And if he does not wag his tongue, perhaps his comrades will.
Yes, alright. We take him back to the room, and the two of you come in and rough him up a bit until he does talk.
So
Juba
this
looks
room,
over a
then.
raft.
This is a sound plan. Seduce him back to a room, and then when he is alone, we will force this information from him.
Jubo stands up and walks over to this bathtub and dips his fingers into the water. Hey, still lukewarm. I have ways of making him talk. Ways from across the sea of swords. Bring him up here, and we will have our way with him.
Gwyn looks at Nizette and shrugs. My experience in these matters isn't limited. I'll be happy to follow your lead.
Well, it is always nice to have a real woman by your side. And he stands up and brushes the front of his shirt, and then just kind of before your eyes you see this kind of wobble in the facial features, and then like very I guess like almost like a robotic look, like things just change, like not very subtle in his features and his body as he transforms, kind of slowly, not too slowly, but very kind of suddenly and dramatically. Nothing like smooth about the process.
That is a skill that I envy, especially right now. But, amazing.
Well, I do not know if it's that much of a skill more than what I am. A skill can be taught.
Alas, that it could be taught. But yes, I suppose we have time to finish the meal here. Haven't heard anything my little friend. Not yet.
Well, I can go downstairs and keep watch for this Vashi while you
We'll be
finish your
down
meal.
shortly.
She nods and walks past you and out the door, back downstairs.
And is there any other RP while you're eating? Actually, you might. I don't know if you're going to say any remarks after the strange one leaves.
That's not something I've seen before, but I understand the utility to the guild that one may bring.
Indeed. Doesn't look brawny, but can't deny the utility of having that sort of an ability.
The stealthiest assassin may keep in the shadows. He may rely on treachery and deceit. But this one, and he points to the door from which she left, this one may walk in broad daylight. She or he may flirt, may cajole, may have drinks with, may seduce. Her victim will never know better until it is too late and a blade is slipped between their ribs. It even gives me pause. Should we trust her?
I don't really.
Go ahead.
No, she just shakes her head. I don't think trust is something that is a necessity for the guild. Between each other, anyway.
We are here to evaluate and assess. Let us not get ahead of ourselves for this one, for they have not even shown they are capable of completing this task they have been given.
I agree. It may be that this one finds their query and does not have the stomach for the business that we are about to conduct, perhaps.
I don't really have the stomach for the business I'm about to conduct. Those pirates, they don't bathe for whole months at a time.
Jubo slides some more ale your way, and something that looks like a roll of salami.
Rattles looks to Gwen and
Take heart then, Gwen, that you only need put on an act. You will not be covered in his filth. In fact, well, I should not say that. Depending on the nature of this torture, some blood may be spilled.
Some blood may be spilt.
I can deal with that. She does down the rest of Jubo's ale, bracing herself. And then stands up. I suppose I should head down then. Will you two remain here, or keep an eye and then head up when we give you a signal?
Is there like anywhere to keep an overwatch of the inn while they're down there doing their work? Or I can't remember the layout of downstairs.
Sorry, what's that?
I can't remember the layout downstairs, if there's like a upper level that we can kind of look down upon the inn or not.
Yeah, there were some stairs that kind of roundabout and come down. You could try to hide on those a bit, I would say, but
I'd be fine waiting it. It's up to you, Rattles.
You could.
I would probably try to hide in the room, and then whenever he comes in, just grab the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I think let's spend our time just making it kind of dimly lit shadows where we need them, everything to our advantage for when he comes in and we just grab the bastard.
Yep.
Yeah, you would
your
see
hair
that there's
like-
a
Hit some mood lighting.
yeah,
Yep, let's do the mood lighting.
and
Jibbo and Rattles put mood lighting.
you light the candles and the
Uh-huh.
potpourri and incense. Now that you see in the corner, there's a bow and a pack that is probably Nizit's as well, just so it's in there.
And
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say
Oh.
Gwen heads down.
Okay. As Gwen is starting to head for the door, which is right here.
Jumped out the window.
Oh, whoops! I'm out of here.
You notice the window kind of bursts open, and a little stream of smoke comes flying through. You notice the imp flashes for a second in the corner. And comes close to landing on Gwen, your shoulder. So it kind of surprises you for a moment.
Quite
And
pleasant.
it speaks in the Vatagi tongue and says, "Yes, yes, he has come."
Yes. Did you see how many were with him?
3 times 1 and 2 more.
5. 5 then. All right then. Good job. Stick with me. I might need to send a message to these two, the Cat Man and the Bone Man. She says if I snap my
And it
fingers
nods
like
and
this,
giggles.
zip up here and tell them that I need them downstairs. She kind of makes like a circle symbol with her hand, and if I make this symbol, come up here and tell them that we're on our way up. Good job.
Yes, yes.
She'll head down.
All right, and we'll move back down to that room.
Can you throw out my new token, Rogue? I gotta like refresh
Oh,
the
yeah.
token, unfortunately. Sorry.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that was such a cool idea.
Well, I mean, you can still just. The thing is, like, I just need new. You just have to set the bubbles and stuff on the new one. There you go. Yeah. I'll just delete that one. I don't have control of it though. Yeah, for now. Yeah.
Wait, you look like me?
Yeah, you come down and you see where the pirates.
They're on the right.
These guys.
They're right over here.
Okay, well, that's where I would be.
The new guys.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would be standing here and I look over my shoulder and see Gwen. Ah, sister! Come! Look at these dashing men over here.
She looks really startled. Yes, I had a feeling that things had suddenly gotten a bit more interesting down here. It's like a better class of sailors arrived.
Indeed. And what sailor would not like to meet twin sisters?
She looks at her and then nods. Yes, I've heard it said that it is somewhat delightful to certain men. I suppose we shall find out.
We shall. And she will head on over.
Yeah, and you notice that the men have a couple of the prostitutes there. They look like they're from Mianwu. Uh, the girls anyway, and one of them is dark skinned. A couple of these guys look really rough, very scarred up, and there's even a ratkin with them with a crossbow on his back now, and they definitely stink of the sea, like they had just gotten here after quite some time. And you easily notice Vashi, his rough face and the scars all over. It looks like he had taken a dagger through the face or a sword at one time.
Wonderful.
And he's got his arm around one, and you can tell he's just happy to be here and drinking and slapping the mugs with his friends here.
Yeah, Nazia goes to take Finn's hand. Excuse me, do you have room for 2 more?
Vashi looks shocked at first, and then he starts laughing, and he says, "Of course, ladies, come on over."
Wonderful.
What is this?
This is my sister, Gwen, and I am Nazia.
Oh, yes. Look at that scar. She looks over at it and she says, I do love a man with a scar on his face. It's so dangerous looking.
Yeah, Nazia kind of rough hands this prostitute, kind of pushing her out of the way.
Not too fresh, that one, is she?
No. Get out of here. Whore.
And you notice the others, the girls, she looks worried and shimmies off pretty quickly back over to the stairs, and Vashi is laughing with this guy up here, Grizzle, another guy that looks really rough, face almost cut in half. He says, "Grizzle, Lucidius has blessed us this night. The ladies like a sailor."
Particularly you. What is your name?
"I am Vashi, my dear." And he tries to take your hand and kiss it.
So she allows it, fake blushes. What a gentleman you are.
"What is this one here? What is your name?" And he tries to squeeze you both up against his chest.
Yeah, Nazia giggles. Practiced.
Gwen just holds her breath. Oh, you certainly have the air of a one who can take charge. Let me guess, you're not just a sailor, are you? Or at least you're on your way to becoming, first mate, maybe?
How did you know this? I am first mate.
You'll
You'll be captain of my own ship soon.
We have a sense for men with potential.
I see. Men with coin, you mean?
She smiles, just shamelessly, and says, well, perhaps men who are willing to part with it.
And you notice some of the coins, there's a pouch on the table, and it flies open, and a bunch of coins go scattering all over the table, just out of nowhere, as if the wind blew it over. and a couple of the pirates like look over like, what the hell? And the hell was that?
That was quite strange. But, I mean, if you want to gather your coin, and perhaps we could negotiate in our room. The three of us.
Vashi doesn't even take notice of the invisible stranger on the table, or the bag that went flying, and he's like, yes, indeed, one with a bath.
You're in luck. We have a bath.
Oh, do you? And you notice this one over here, the ratkin, he stands up and he says, Vashi, what about the other business we had planned?
Oh, whatever it is, that can wait. Come on.
Vashi says, it won't take too long.
Oh, well,
I don't know if you can afford
not
too long.
fast.
She smiles and kind of yanks at Vashi's wrist.
And Vashi starts to follow you back towards the stairs. And you can tell, like, Fizbit's a little angry on his face, and he looks over towards Grizzle, shoots him a look, and Grizzle shrugs, and he grabs one of the women. So he's coming up there with you guys. No fuss about it. And it seems like he's by himself.
Yeah, I mean, I will playfully lead him up.
Gwen is gonna make the symbol in the air that it's just like a little twist of the fingers that she had arranged with the imp to warn the others that they were on their way.
Okay.
Whether or not she does it, she's a naughty thing.
Trying to get you guys in trouble.
Yep. Or she just likes money.
Alright, I might have to delete this otherwise.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You should just put every token you ever make in the game on that. There.
It's such a cool idea, though. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Me? No, I'm you. What?
We're twins. Who doesn't like twins?
So you guys are hiding up here.
Yeah, we're like on either side of the door. Imagine the light is low, candles are lit. My knife is heating up near the fire.
Armor is this guy wearing?
He has some leather on, just like a jerkin. Nothing too much. And he's grabbing your ass and smiling and all dirty all the way up the stairs. Probably can't wait to get into the door.
Yeah, I mean, immediately what would Nizia would do is when he gets in the door, she turns and just yanks his pants down. And then kind of after a few seconds...
The town!
No, after a few seconds, just like pushes him over.
Oh, shit. He looks shocked for a second, and then he starts laughing, and then he falls over, and that's when he notices that there are more people in here.
Shock.
And he's like,
Maybe
oh!
stun him.
I'm just gonna try to grab him, basically.
Yeah, Jubo would like his claws would come out, and he would just like pounce on him and just not hurt him, but dig into his flesh like you're not going anywhere. Where are you going, friend? Hoping for a good time?
Yeah.
Myself and my fleshy friend here can help you. And he looks over at Rattles with his claw.
set, get the door.
Yeah, he kind of hops up and closes it and pulls out a dagger and turns around and says, the voice that comes out doesn't match the like feminine look. Well, the only thing you're going to get fucked with tonight is this dagger if you don't talk.
Lascivious, you curse me. And he looks at everybody, and he's totally defeat in his face, and he's like, fuck, what is it you want?
Nazia looks to Gwen or whoever to ask the questions.
Information.
And he will drag Vashi over to his seat and plant him in it with a hand on his shoulder.
I'll let my more attractive and more intelligent friend do the talking. I'm just here for certain skills I have. And Jubo kind of has his hand on Vashi's shoulder as well. And has his claws out and is cleaning his claws with his tongue.
Gwen has sparks kind of dancing on her fingers.
Rattles will...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll motion Jubo to prepare whatever he's doing with that knife.
Now, you're going to be honest. Do you know who we serve?
He looks at everybody. You could tell he's got some fear in his eyes, definite fear, but he's like no stranger to the danger at all. But he says, "You don't look like you're agents of the Scythe. Malefactorum would be my guess."
You are smarter than you look, but not as smart as you think you are. If you think that you can do business here without involving us.
I will pay whatever you need.
Do not be so eager.
What is it? Otep? Phileas? One of them. I'll pay them. I know them well.
No. You are dealing with us. Now, listen very closely. You are going to tell us what you are shipping and why you decided to hide it from us. You will tell us this. But first, we must show you what happened if you do not.
And he will nod to Jubo, and he'll put one hand on Vashi's shoulder, and the other one he'll wrap around his mouth.
Yeah, and he starts to immediately struggle, trying to say something.
I apologize for what I am about to do, Vashi. Let it never be said that Jubo Lemongrass is not without some measure of manners, but this is business, Vashi. And I and my friends here need some information. He scrapes the blade along the stones near the fireplace and then slowly walks towards him again. Tell me this, Vashi. Long ago, and I am much older than you, I think, 50 years, I fell in with a band of criminals. We were known as the Soldiers of Dawn. Back then, we had to get certain information from people as well. And so we figured every man can live with just one eye, and so we begin to take eyes. And he holds the heated knife up to the upper eyelid of his left eye.
He's
So, Vashi, what will it
freaking
be?
out. He's like freaking out, struggling, trying to say something, but Rattles is covering his mouth, so he's like, "Ah!"
I think that's what my little org was named. I took extra like into me because Soldiers of Dawn. Yes. Is he going to spill his guts now, or I want to take his eye out?
Oh, I'm having you do it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to show him what it's going to be if he doesn't cooperate.
Yes.
Take one eye, leave the other.
Yes. So he slowly takes his claw and retracts his upper eyelid, and you hear a hiss as the knife goes in over the eye, and you hear the scrape of bone. Scrape! As it just scoops out the socket, cauterizing all the blood. And then he kind of puts a little leverage on the knife, and the eye just pops out. Oh, there we go. Like an olive. Ha ha! He pops it up and like tosses it to the air like a coin, and waits for Vashi to start screaming.
Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet.
Don't let him scream.
Yeah, Rattles will, after the deed is done, he wraps his hand tight
Yeah.
around the guy's mouth.
And thankfully, Rattles. Yeah, you were covering his mouth, right, the whole time when he was. Yeah, because he was definitely like screaming in pain as the eye was kind of popped and melted, and almost passes out. Actually, let's see if he's able to
Oh no!
withstand this.
I did it very gently.
We have
He's-
water.
He's still strong. He's still awake, and
I placed the eye on the charcuterie board, and it's like looking at Vashi.
and he's like, I just fucking tell you what I know. You don't have to do anything else. Stop it.
Quiet your voice.
Maybe we can do more, Vashi. I mean, you are a pirate. You look very dashing with the patch over the eye, but that's expected of a pirate. So maybe next we take a leg, right?
Is his pants still down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
No,
I pull him
no,
back up? No.
Zet goes, or we can make him a eunuch.
Oh, that's a very good idea.
You are sick fucks. Do not do this.
Then
I will tell
start talking.
You will tell us of the shipment, what it is, where it is, and why you tried to hide it from us.
He says this is some kind of powder, a black powder. There's a lot of it. They had us bring it from Min Wu. And something else. There were bodies. Some kind of vile liquid. We weren't allowed to open the canisters.
Who are you set to trade this with? Who is your buyer?
The Obsidian Skies, they're the ones who hired us. As trying to start a war or something. And they are moving these things into the city without the guards knowing.
The
Juba,
warehouse.
Juba looks to Gwen and Nizet.
And where is this shipment now?
He says, I can take you to it. It's just north of here. Down the alleyway.
I think you will give us direction instead.
We will tie you up and leave you here so that we have a good head start.
And he looks kind of hopeful when you say that.
Yeah, he
and
looks kind of. She tries not to look ashamed.
Are you trying to deceive him?
um, yeah, go ahead and roll it. Let's see if he believes that. I mean, not that he's gonna be. There's not much choice really, but
Wants to believe it.
he does. He does
Okay,
want to
so
believe it.
that's just charisma.
Yeah, unless you have deceit.
No, I don't. I have seduction, but this is kind of not. It's sort of a situation.
Sexy lady.
Oh boy, no, he knows she's lying, but he wants to believe it.
Yeah. He's like, you would not let me live.
Well, perhaps you're right, but you have two choices then. How is the manner of your death going to be? Long and painful, or quick and short?
You don't have to kill me. Look, I would take you there. We can be quiet about it. I won't say anything.
Begging does not suit you.
And he says, right out the door. Front door. You turn right, and then left again. And then one more left. There is a door that goes down to the warehouse. It is in the basement.
Do I believe him?
It was wise of you.
Sorry, I just do it. Believe
He
him.
looks at
Yeah.
Rattles. Yeah, you know the city because you've lived here. I mean, does that sound reasonable? Like, can you picture kind of where that is? Or does it sound like BS?
Yeah, that would be my question. Yeah, because I have lived in the city for a while, so.
Jubo and Gwen, I don't think have.
I don't even know what that would be for me to roll intelligence.
Perception.
Yeah, go
or-
ahead and do intelligence. Yeah, do perception actually, because
I just want to get a sense if I think he's lying or not.
if he's lying, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was horrible. He definitely seems like you didn't totally fumble, because that was one of them
Yeah.
was a 4. You definitely feel like he's like withholding something. He could be lying about the direction of
Yeah.
it. You do know that there's warehouses. I would say Rattles. You know, there's warehouses underneath here, storage areas. And Nizette, you've been here for a while, probably staked out this whole
Mhm.
place. And you know that there's a kind of a maze of warehouses, even just under this, the inn. They have a couple of passages that lead to different storage rooms. But you didn't see anything like that. You saw barrels of ale and stuff.
Yeah, Nizette would go and sit on his lap and throws one arm around him. And I think you need to reevaluate your cooperation. And as he looks him straight in the eyes very closely, just visage just changes right in his face, and looks to Rattles and says, "Cover his mouth."
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then basically he takes the knife and cuts off one of his ears.
Blood curdling, screaming, but muted at the same time by Rattles. Blood all over the table, and kind of shivering again. I'm gonna make one more check. Is there anybody you think that would get sick sickened by torture? Would need a willpower check?
Yeah, Gwen doesn't like it.
Yeah, let's give a will check to Gwen.
I don't give a fuck.
I've seen some shit. I worked in the salt mines for 10 years.
Yeah, Gwyn looks at this happening. She was especially disturbed when Nizet looked like her and was sitting on the lap, and she shudders and turns away, and she walks into this room and puts her back against the wall, just kind of trying to get hold of herself, putting her hands against her ears so that she doesn't have to hear his whimpering, his muffled screams. She tries to summon Sizex to her.
When you go to sit in there, you notice the window. There's no window in here, is there? You notice the sheets moving. It looks like something's on the bed, and then you notice a small little pouch fall onto the bed, and a few coins come out onto the bed, and then you see the imp. Her eyes. She's not making herself seen or anything, and she speaks to you into the Iroku language. She says, "Fat Scar Man, he comes upstairs. He's looking for Vashi."
Yes. Thank you. Stay hidden. You may need to follow him or the Rat Man if they leave. We need to find out where this place is that they've got the black powder hidden. She kind of describes the directions that Vashi gave her, but I'm not sure that's true. You've done well. You will have to tell me what reward you desire. And she rushes out and she says, "The fat one comes."
As it frowns. Vashi, you have this last chance. Otherwise, I will cut your balls off and your cock and stick them in your mouth while you bleed out. One last chance. And he puts the blade down between Vashi's legs.
Gwyn stands at the door and gives her best high-pitched giggle. Although I'm sure her heart is not in it, like trying to make it sound like there's something fun going on in here.
This is fun!
She probably
This is
sounds
fun.
more like manic.
This is fun for some of us.
That's amazing. Okay, cool. Vashi, you can tell he's probably a bit disoriented and stuff, and he says, upstairs, to the north, knock twice, and then once again, at the door. There are others there waiting.
How many?
4, 5, I don't know.
Good. You are wise to accept your situation with dignity.
And he looks to Nizet and nods.
Can I make do I think he's telling the truth? Make another roll.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, then he would just go ahead and cut him, castrate him, and then immediately afterwards grab the disembodied junk in one hand, slice him across the throat in the other, and let him bleed out, and he will cram it in his mouth and cut off the head.
Oh, Jesus.
With flair.
So he's like, you guys are watching him do that. That's
Locked the door and went to the window. Can we jump out here?
you can. That drops down onto the entrance to the kitchen, you believe, and then there's a wagon out there filled with hay you can jump into.
Gwyn says, let's not turn this into more than it needs to be, and she kind of points out the window.
Nazette nods and hands over the head to Rattles. Is this sufficient for a show of strength?
Yes, that will do fine.
And he will put it in his cloak.
Yeah, Nazette goes and
Gwyn
grabs the
says-
stuff real quick.
She crawls out onto the rooftop here.
Gwen, you could take one mental fatigue point
Okay.
right now. Yeah, as they're like, chopping the head off, and Nazette is doing some like pretty horrific shit to that guy. So
She's definitely disturbed.
I thought I could be the
Right.
one you trusted
Got it.
next.
Well, I don't have balls, so maybe that'll make a difference.
and you easily make it to the roof, and you don't have to make a dex check or anything. It's pretty simple. So I dropped into the cart. And I think I'm going to put you guys back on the first floor here.
And Rogue, if any of those guys kind of like... Actually, they won't even recognize me. I'm going to go and change. As he gets out on the roof, he changes into this.
Gwyn kind of speaks, says, X, follow the Ratman. Report to me after, if he leaves, and then go back and follow him.
Oh, I switched it over. Okay, you do that, and the imp is gone. Yeah, out the window. She's quick to kind of disappear into the tavern.
Oh,
And
Gwyn
I'll
did
put you guys up.
take the coins.
Yeah. She kind of left it there on the bed for you. I'll put you guys out here. Everybody see out here?
Yeah, Gwyn looks over at Nizette. I really prefer if you didn't.
Do what I was asked.
You look like me.
Oh,
Now that that's over, it's strange. And to be honest, the less of my faces that's seen around town, the better.
we'll see. Gives kind of a non-committal shrug, and as you're looking at him, changes into another dude that is completely different. I could change into Vashi if we thought it would serve our purpose at the warehouse. Let's find it
If we
first.
get there soon enough, yes. So let's follow the directions. Let's see if they are correct. If not, my little spy can follow the others back to it.
Hopefully Vashi was the only one
Okay.
that knew how to get there.
You're from Mienwu. What is this black powder, Jubo? Do you have any idea?
I think I probably know, right?
Make an intelligence check. See
No.
if he'd ever encountered it.
Okay. I'm not smart and lazy, so
We'll say, I was gonna say target number 5. Yep. So with that success, I would say you've heard of it as the powder that they use in guns.
yeah. In Mianwu in the east, there is very much that is even beyond the reach of the arcane arts. There is blasting powder, there is this black powder. It can blow a stone sky high, it can split wood. It can make a man into little more then a puff of red mist. This is the stuff he speaks of.
Oh my.
And if he is importing it from Mianwu, then ho 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 ho, then it is a force to be reckoned with. The guild needs to know of this, and the guild needs to take it for ourselves.
The bodies and the black liquid. Perhaps Halaha can shed some light on that.
Of this thing I am not certain. I do know that it may be some devilry, though, that may be less useful to us.
Does anyone actually know the directions?
I believe I'm on the right path.
If not, I mean, can Gwyn make an intelligence check to see if she remembers
Yeah.
it?
Left,
the same
right,
way
left, right,
Gwyn
A, B,
had
A,
it?
B, A. Yeah, I don't know.
Correct.
Yeah, go ahead. Do the
Unbeatable!
Yeah.
I got 30 lives.
You believe that the last part of his directions was left here.
Left here.
hmm And that there would be
Stairs going up.
stairs going down
Oh,
into a lower area. You do notice that there is a window up here. Kind of as you go down the stairs, you can see the windows open. You guys can see in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hear a little bit of talking going on, and it sounds like the voice of a ratkin. And then down here at the bottom of the stairs, you notice a very serious door. The door is constructed of steel plating, actually, over it. And then there's a lock on it, which could be picked if somebody had the tools to do
I
such a thing.
believe I do. I would rather try to pick it than knock. You see Nizet pull something out of his belt. Lock-picking tools for people who would know. Do you think we should go in quiet, or should I knock like the fool said?
We can try quiet, and if you cannot unlock the lock, then we knock, and we practice extreme violence.
Well, I will allow you to do the violence. I'm more of a violent sort when they can't fight back. And he begins to try to pick the lock. Let's see. That would be... I think I have this. Thought I did, at least. I have lockpicks. What is that skill, Rogue?
That would be off decks if you don't have
I do.
lock picking.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, cool. You got the skill.
Modifiers, anything?
Nice. If you want to take your time, I'll give you an extra +1. If you're trying to just get it done, you do hear the voices in there. You hear like a deep voice say, "Where's Vashi? He's taking a very long time."
What is my target number? Is that something you can tell me?
Target number is 8 for this.
I'll take my time then.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty difficult lock. Somebody didn't want anybody getting into this. Oh, nice.
Hey now.
But let me see here if that taking that time mattered at all.
Yeah, as he's
30.
messing with the lock, he's like, "This is a serious lock."
Oh shit, it did matter.
1d1.
You can hear the door up the stairs start to open.
Is that change?
Yeah, I would change to Vashi immediately. If I can do that.
And yeah.
Our friend here is a man of many talents and many faces. I like him, unless I find him in bed with me on some cold night.
And everybody, if you want to hide, do you guys want to hide or what do you want to do? You can
If
try
we
to hide
can.
down here.
I mean, I'm gonna turn into Vashi and probably act drunk.
I mean, because it is dark down there, but I mean, if somebody comes down that way, you're screwed. But
I'll try to stealth, I guess.
okay.
I'll
Win
try to
roll.
Yeah,
stealth.
no, that's like
Stand against
go
the
inside.
wall.
The door's
You're
open.
headed-
That's what I. And then
It'll be concealment, and it's if you don't have concealment, it would just be perception. Your perception attribute.
yeah, isn't the door open? Can't they go inside? I've unlocked it, right?
People in there.
This is like as you were taking your time, I rolled
Okay.
to see if it mattered really.
Concealment, if you don't have it, is perception.
Fumbled it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what I do. It's just perception, and then
Concealment. Yeah,
I have an idea.
I get
Oh,
like a
right.
+2 bonus on that too, I think.
So Jubo and Rattles did a great job. Let's see if this matters here.
Yeah, +1, so it's 13.
Okay. The door opens up here. And you notice up the stairs, and you notice a large, dark-skinned warrior. He kind of steps out. He has a stone hammer on his belt and a shield on his back. Like he looks like he's ready to go. Does not look like a sailor at all. Looks more like a Templar, holy warrior. And he looks around. You do notice he has a strange emblem on his an amulet that kind of shines in the torchlight. The amulet is kind of a weird symbol you wouldn't really see too often, but those that know about the 6 demon gods sure would, and you can tell he's definitely not a light path follower for sure. The symbols of carnage, one of the devil gods, and he comes out and he looks around down the alleyway, and then he calls back. He says, "He needs to hurry. I'm getting tired of waiting for him." And you hear the Ratkin voice again say, "He's probably held up with some women and drinking." And then the dark-skinned man says, "We don't have time for women." And then the door closes. He rolled a freaking 1 on his
My
perception.
gosh. Well, I get actually that makes sense. I get a +3 actually to my concealment, but when you fumble, it doesn't matter.
Nice. That totally works.
Yeah.
He totally fumbled his.
Not ever shrugs and slowly opens the door and walks inside.
Just need to confirm that this is the place, and we can return to the guild house. We weren't given any other instructions.
They did say they were waiting for him. Did they say his name? I did not hear it. But this seems to be the
I did.
place, don't you think?
Did hear them say Welsh. Oh no, Jubo sneezed.
COVID.
It's over. 20 guys rush out. Ah! The door. Steel door, heavy, starts to slide open slowly. Directly in here is a horrible smell. You could smell like rotten fish, perhaps, and kind of breeze kicks up when you've opened the door. Like there's a tunnel that leads to somewhere else with another passage out of here. So the breeze kind of continues to blow through this passageway. You notice immediately down here is a jail cell, kind of jail door, with an empty plate there, scrapings. And it's totally dark down here.
Let us confirm, and perhaps take it back as proof to the guild.
I am interested in what this black ichor they spoke of was.
Body speaks of necromancy to me, but it isn't my specialty.
Yeah, Rattles is gonna poke around, look for boxes.
Through this door, there's many packages, many bundles.
When you get into this chamber, you notice there's stairs that lead up. You can hear those voices again coming from the stairs there, so you're sure that those stairs lead probably up into that room in there. Another way to get in there. You notice the mortar and pestle there on the stool, the crates, the barrels here that are piled up, and you do see some black powder on the ground over here in the residue. Was Jubo looking in that cage over there
Yes.
as they started to head in there? He did notice that it was empty, but there was some blood on the ground. Quite a bit of blood.
This cage has not held a soul in a long time, but there is much blood has been spilled here. We must be cautious. They are up to more than smuggling black powder, I shall say.
Gwyn takes out her athame and slices open one of these bundles over here to see what's inside.
Yeah, and when you do that, you notice that some black powder start to pour out of it, the sack.
She'll stuff some into her pouch, one of the little compartments on it, something for components, and tie it up.
Jubo runs over like, no, be very careful, not too quickly. This place will all go skywards if we are clumsy or act too rashly.
Supposed to be bodies here.
I do not see any bodies, although I smell something. Certainly, well,
They may have been moved.
And Rattles is actually gonna take a bag of the powder, put it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Is there
Jubo.
anything here on the table?
Nothing.
There's little things.
Nothing special in there. There is a chest in the corner. It has a couple of lanterns stacked on top of it, and it has a lock on it.
Nisette. There's a lock here. Perhaps you'll have some luck. And she'll pick up one of the lanterns to hold so that he can see. I don't know if he has twilight vision or dark vision.
He just walks. Very well. And he will try to pick the lock.
You're gonna turn the lantern on, Gwen?
Oh, well, we don't have any other light down here, do we?
No.
It's hard for me to tell because I can see. Yeah, she'll get close to the ground and she'll light the lantern, but she'll sort of hold her cloak over it. Just
Okay.
direct the light toward Nisette, but mute it.
I remember we did that not too long ago.
Yes, we did.
And Jubo, your beast senses there. You start to catch this horrific scent coming from this barrel over here. You notice there is a small, weird liquid at the base of it.
Oh, this thing here. This did not come from any restaurant I know of. This Oh, so foul. This ichor. He kind of taps on the barrel.
Yeah,
It's like full of stuff.
yeah, he just kind of, maybe you should take some for a proper examination by the guild, as he's fiddling with the lock and not really, I'm guessing, getting much headway with it.
Yeah, that one you almost even like break the lockpick or damage it, but yeah, you're having trouble with it. I mean, you could continue to try as well if you guys are staying down here a little bit longer. And when you tap on the barrel, you notice that it's really thick, filled with something, probably liquid.
Is there any, like, jars or anything about?
There's a cup. I see.
Yep. There's some broken bottles and yeah, a couple of jars.
Grab it, wrap it with a piece of cloth. Piece of cloth cut from the burlap sacks.
And it looks like some of the nails, looks like some, iron nails have been pegged in. You could easily pull them out or pry them out with a blade. They're not like hammered tight in. It looks like this has been removed recently, the lid, and just kind of like really crappily like placed back on and probably hit with the butt of a hilt or something.
Let's take a peek inside then. Jubo just kind of, yeah. Oh, now! Now this person here, this is a person. They're not quite, what we should say, alive. Rattles, come here.
That is foul.
It is foul indeed. What would be the use of such things? Gwen?
Mancy. As I said, we should describe this to Halaha. She may very well know what they're planning. I said, do you want to give this another try? I can try to weaken the lock. And
We
Raph
have
can
taken too much
chop it off.
time.
I agree with the Bone Man. We have what we came for, do we not? If we get caught in here,
Usually locks something up unless it's precious.
it could simply be more corpses.
Don't care about securing those corpses. Move out of the way. She'll prepare ice lance to just kind of freeze the lock. Make it brittle.
Nice. What level are you?
She's just second level.
Okay. Yeah, you could roll the damage on it. You don't have to worry about the attack. Yeah, it's enough to kind of shatter it.
Well, then you're so
So-
eager to see what it is. Ladies first.
She will. She'll walk forward and gingerly open the lid.
When you open it up, you notice that there are some scrolls in there, and some scroll cases actually that contain some parchment that's rolled up. You also notice there's a pouch in there filled with coin. There's quite a few scrolls in there, though, and you could probably fill up a shoulder bag with
She
them.
just starts scooping
But-
them up.
Yeah, Nizet
some of
would
them look like
do the
that.
same. Just he now that it's open, he starts also trying to get at it.
Divide
And,
this later.
And as you're like putting them in the pouch, you guys start to hear voices coming from this direction, the door that you opened.
As anticipated.
Rattles will put the gunpowder bag down.
Juba puts the lid back on the body bin.
Puts out the light and ducks down.
All right. Do you guys want to just try to hide back here?
Yeah,
I would start with that.
Okay. Buddy, just go ahead and do concealment again, or perception if you don't have concealment. But this time you're going to have a +3.
Yeah, 15 then.
I rolled it again, but it's actually a 7. But it's still a fumble.
Oh.
I had a 4 because my racial thing. I'm a racist. Cat racist.
Hates dogs.
God, can't you hide, Gwen?
She actually probably she probably hides really well, but she like knocks something over, or like as she's putting out the lamp, her cloak catches on fire, something like that.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. There's a lot of garbage down there, like those bottles and stuff. So, yeah, something like that crunching under your boot, or something maybe gives it away. But you do hear the sound of a voice, and it sounds like a Ratkin voice. So, Vashi, is that you? Are you down here?
Does that still look like Vashi?
I could.
The voice.
He comes back and is, yes, I'm sorry, I staggered down here. I've been drinking. I'll be up in a moment.
To the twins.
What about him?
You just left them? Are you finished already with
They were very pricey.
And you notice the shadow of the ratkin, because your vision isn't that great
Yeah.
either. But you can see him standing in the doorway, or in the passageway, the archway, and he looks and he sees you dead on. You're pretty sure ratkin can see very well in the dark, so you're like, oh shit. But you have a disguise on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a disguise
I
skill?
think I do, yeah. Pretty sure. Let me see. Skills.
And your cool ability has like +3 or something, or impersonation.
Yeah, I have
something like that.
impersonation. Mm-hmm.
That's what would be best. I mean, because you look like him.
Where is
So.
that? Impersonation. Skills. Where is impersonation? Is that a skill?
Oh, I didn't make your skill buttons. Did I?
Not all of them. I'm just looking for it. Where is that under? Is that under?
Roguish skills, I
yeah,
believe,
I'm not seeing.
or diplomatic skills. Where is it?
Yeah. Nope.
Is it
It's
one that you
character
made?
skills.
Is
No,
it-
it's I do have it.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's fucking charisma though.
um,
Creative.
yeah. Go ahead and do deceive, and then add that. What is it? A +3 to the that it gives
Mhm.
you.
Deceive. That's roguery, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's
How
not
apt.
actually. It's
Roguery.
It's not under roguery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic.
Diplomatic. Yeah. Sorry.
I'd rather do impersonations a little better because I have a rating.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not very. Unfortunately, my charisma's awful.
So what do you add to it?
And then you should add +3,
Yeah.
right?
Say.
So 6 total. Okay. Let's see if he falls for this.
Is it's easy to raise stats when they're that low.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he gets some points.
Oh,
It's a tie.
He starts to walk over to you, and he says, and you can just feel it at that moment that he's becoming like suspicious for some reason.
Can you help me? Come here. Give me a shoulder to lean on.
Yes, certainly. And who has really good vision that's hiding back there?
I mean, when he gets around the, gonna try to.
Yeah,
fuck him up.
that's the whole idea.
That's the plan is to just
Yeah.
fucking rush him, and the moment I see him, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna smash him.
I think I have Twilight.
Yeah, you have Twilight and you have good perception, so
Yeah.
Let's see. Is everybody where they want to be on the?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, and he starts to come up over there, and you can see it looks like he's reaching back.
I guess I should be like right
for
here where you can see me.
a blade. And Rattles, what was your perception or your hiding there? Concealment.
Mine was 9.
Okay. And Jubo had 13. And he rolled a 6. He does not see you. Fizbit gets to about there. He's got a crossbow on his back. But you notice that he's like reaching for a blade or something. He's got his hand on the hilt at least, like he's suspicious about something, and he's starting to look over towards Nizette.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab him and try to slam him into this pillar as hard as I can.
Yes, do it.
Yeah, go ahead and do the attack.
I've made a habit of killing rats.
And this is a heavy attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and all you have to do is not fumble this.
I
What are the odds, though?
didn't.
Okay. You grab him, and then you're going to slam him. Go ahead and do the damage.
Yeah,
Power
that's
2.
Alright, let's see if it rolls the correct damage this time.
I think I fixed it. Did I?
So, I don't think so, because that's my strength. That's correct, so 3 plus 4, 7, yeah. So the 4 is my strength, but then I get a bonus for being a bone ward, which is 3?
Oh, okay.
I believe. Yes. So it would be
20.
20.
Nice. So what does that look like as you take him out?
So as he comes up, he's reaching for the blade and is probably looking at Nizette, and then this big hand comes from around this pillar. I grab him by the side of the head, and I just smash his head against the corner of this pillar, and there's not really much left of the skull after that.
Yeah, he just blood pours down the pillar, and he drops and like a sickening thud next to the barrel. It was kind of a loud noise, so you probably, I mean, the thud and the pillar anyway. So it's probably, you're thinking best to leave as soon as possible. But what do you guys want to do?
I think it's best as we leave now.
Rattles grabs the gunpowder back.
We must make haste now.
She kind of says out into the air, "Sex, you naughty girl, you are supposed to warn me."
Yeah, and for some reason you don't hear any response back, or sense or hear the flap of wings or anything
Nizette
like
would
that.
quickly try to.
She noticed if she had been killed.
Oh yeah, you would, yeah.
Okay.
You'd feel it. You kind of, if you could see Ashley, you'd have this tethered as well.
Nizette would just grab anything very quickly off the ratkin that he could without spending much time. But
Here's that crossbow.
yeah, anything of potential value.
So as you guys are leaving, you do notice this passageway here, and take note of it. There was another locker here as well, but you can hear what sounds like people coming down the stairs back over here, and you hear that dark-skinned human's voice. Is it?
Way. The way
It's
we
bit.
came or through the tunnel?
We don't know where that goes.
The way we came.
I say we leave the way we came. In the shadows, after the shadows.
Yeah.
Back out the main door.
Yes.
All right. And as you can hear, like, the footsteps coming down the steps, you hear what sounds like a loud commotion upstairs, like a bunch of things flying around and hitting the walls. And you hear, "What the hell is that? Close the window!"
Gwen grins. She says, I think we've got ourselves a distraction.
And you guys are able to slip away back down into the alleyways unnoticed. Without any more problem. Move back here. There's so many maps here. There we go. And you guys end up taking Nazette back with you, I suppose.
Pretty
See
good.
no
or
reason
good,
not
pretty
to.
Good.
Yeah. And Nazette, you end up finding out about the bookstore, and you notice at the bookstore you get to walk through the bookstore and follow them. There's an old man that looks to you, and he sees the coin provided, a flash of the Pentagon coin, and he opens a switch underneath the desk in the library, and it creates a secret passage that leads down into the main hall here of the Arcane Malefactorum. And that is where you see Grass and another face, Otep, who must be one of the higher ups. He has to be, one of the leaders at least. You think, very, very pale-faced, kind of nicely chiseled features, and Otep smiles as you approach, and he says, "How did our new associate do? Fine, I see."
Rattles will throw the dead pirate's head on the floor.
And then he smiles, and he walks over towards Nazette and says, "Welcome to our family. It'll be good to have someone with your skills."
Yes, I am sure that I can assist in many ways. These others, they were... helpful.
And he smiles, and he looks over everybody, and he says, "Well then, please, Grass, show him to his room if he likes, and please get settled in. Thank you all. I will hear about it tomorrow, I suppose." Sazak the Imp lands on your shoulder, and you realize it's about time for it to go. So,
She looks at it kind of confused and wonders if it was truly bound at all this time. 'Cause it wasn't exactly following orders, but she says, "You really came through there. I wondered for a while. Thank you for your service." And, that she'll do what she usually does to dismiss them.
and Sazak says, "Always, yes, yes," and vanishes. And with that, is there any other closing RP before you guys?
Going through the scrolls and opening them real quick just to see if there's something that has to do with this shipment in there.
Yeah, Jubo would probably help with lend his expertise in the artifacts that have arrived from Yenwu.
We should look through here and see if there's anything of significance.
Hey, I'll do my best. Many things have come across the Sea of Swords, but this is the most interesting by far.
Some as well. Something might give us a hint.
Rattles will bring the gunpowder bag to Grass and place it over his shoulder.
Gunpowder. That is what they were shipping. The rest was decomposing bodies.
Decomposing but preserved, I would
Correct.
say. Preserved in some sort of foul liquid.
A foul liquid.
Did we bring
And he
that
thinks on
in?
it for a moment.
Jubo, did you get some of that liquid?
Right here in this cup, covered in burlap. No doubt some have leaked out, but some still remain in the bottom of this jar. He would bring it to Grass. Someone more adept in the study of these things than I shall look into this.
And Grass takes it and he says, "We will investigate this. But I have an idea of what it is. Certainly necromantic, of course, but some new creation, perhaps. I wonder how many of these barrels they have hidden away. If they had a necromancer awaken them."
Well, there are still more there in the warehouse if you wish to send others to capture them, question them.
And he walks over and he looks at some of the scrolls that you guys have provided, the parchments, and you roll one out, and it looks like there's markings on the map that show locations here and there, dotted of little ships drawn and stuff like that, and you're quickly able to discern that it's probably positions of the Navy. It's probably the pirate fleet. You don't believe that they would have any other, secret information of the enemy. But he says, "Anything out? Who are the pirates working for?"
He did speak of the scythe.
Yes. Shipment. Them as a buyer. Your rivals in Fazoon are moving hard.
Do you really think that he would serve such as the scythe? Eh.
He thinks for a moment and he says, the pirates take coin where they can get it, I suppose.
Fishy did mention that they were trying to foment a war, Christ. What do you make of this information?
I'm not sure just yet. But I am sorry to say I did find out some information, Gwyn, about your friend. Kira, her name.
And
She brought to me a message that the priestess had been captured and will be executed tomorrow.
treason.
The Amaranth, is that her name?
The few truly good people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. For what reason is she being executed?
Treason. Apparently she's been protecting certain people. Prisoners of the Red Guard. I do know where they're holding her, if that information is needed by you.
Gwyn thinks back on how horrible it was being in the prison. She swallows hard and nods. Yes, I need to know.
And he says,
Cannot
good.
let such a debt go unpaid.
Perhaps you'll need a team to go rescue her. And he smiles.
He kind of looks at the others and she says, "This isn't guild business. It's personal. I can only ask. And I wouldn't hold it against anyone who didn't wish to help."
He looks at the others and he says, well, we're all family here. And welcome to the family, Nizette.
Thank you. It is good to be here.
And with that, we will close for the evening. Thank you all for joining.
Good times. Ain't torture times. It's good times.
So what are we going to do for XP?